Hello, welcome to the Dank Dungeon. I am Matt, and I'm here building kind of an interesting deck. We're going to be building Grimlock today. There are a few reasons for that. Brent is allegedly going to be joining me in a few minutes. He's running a little late, but until then, we can explore together this commander and why we're doing this. So Grimlock is an interesting sort. It is silver bordered, obviously. You will not be finding this on any boosters. It's from a promotional thing from HasCon, apparently. Um, and I figured it would be interesting to try to brew like kind of a lower power deck on the channel, specifically bracket 2 in this case. And given that all these sweet vehicles just came out, and they've been printing dinosaurs more and more frequently, this might be an interesting one to explore. So we're going to check into that. Basic idea is that we're basically just going to be a mid-range aggro kind of a deck, kind of curve cheap cheap dinosaurs and vehicles into Grimlock, so that when we slam them on turn 4, they will all be larger than people are expecting, and you can swing out and do a lot of damage. Everything above that in the mana curve should be things that generate card advantage or cause our stuff to get even more swole, ideally. Just kind of curve out mid-range aggro kind of a deck. So why are we doing bracket 2? There's a few different reasons. Number one being mid-range aggro is not a very strong strategy. I think it works fine in lower tiers such as bracket 2, but you would probably have difficulty when people are trying to combo off early or playing more powerful cards. Build a different kind of deck in that case, perhaps. For another thing, obviously it's silver bordered, and the more competitive people get, the less likely they are to let you just run your homebrew-ish commander. And then there's the fact that we probably just don't need a whole lot of the powerful things that you get in higher brackets. Like, it will kind of naturally fall into sort of the lower tiers with the cards that we choose. Like, you could add Mox Diamond or Ancient Tomb or things to this deck, and it would be slightly better, but you're probably not getting a whole lot out of a lot of the cards in the higher tiers. So bracket 2. To that restriction, I suppose, we are going to be kind of focused on making sure that we don't have very many tutors. We're not going to run a lot of game changers or any game changers, I think it is at 2. Let's look. It doesn't tell me. Let's look. That doesn't tell me either. Okay. Well, we'll figure it out. Few tutors, no game changers, no infinite combos. We're not really planning to do that stuff anyway. Tutors in particular, when you're trying to play mid-range aggro, a lot of the time you don't want to spend an extra 2, 3, 4 mana on trying to find just another dinosaur or what have you. A lot of the parts are interchangeable. So we don't really need a lot of that, except for 2 very specific tutors that are not on the bracket, are in the game changers list, that I think would be pretty neat to be running, are Savage Order and Natural Order. The benefit of these is that you are getting creatures ahead of curve rather than spending extra mana to get things out. If we get 3-ish tutors anyway, these are probably some pretty good ones to do, because then you can go and get Galta. Or not Galta. What am I talking about? I've drawn a blank. Okay, let's find out. Good to know I still can't type. Gisha, that's it. So natural order for Gisha is very powerful. Savage order, of course, works as well. You just need a creature with power 4 or greater, and you can get any dinosaur, which Gisha happens to be that. We might be playing Zalortha as well, just because it makes our commander kind of work over time. And probably Panthlaza. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So Gishath's a very powerful thing to get into play. Obviously, a lot of regular commander decks focused on around dinosaurs will be playing this in the command zone. Problem is, it's 8 mana. You have to play a lot of ramp, and then you don't have as many dinosaurs to hit, and you're not doing probably a lot on the first few turns. But if you can get it into play, it's pretty powerful. And with natural order, if we sacrifice a green creature, we can go get any green creature, including Gishath. Or if we have a creature with power 4 or greater, we can go get any dinosaur, including Gishath. And since our commander makes all of our dinosaurs have additional power, as long as they started with at least 2, or we have another Lord in play, pretty much any dinosaur will let us Savage Order for Gishath, which seems pretty strong. I've also added these two for later. They're just kind of top-end things that we're going to curve Grimlock into. Panthlaza just draws us additional cards. Ideally, anything that's 4 or above mana, apart from our commander, will do something to reload us after we've played a bunch of cheap dinosaurs and vehicles, or cause those things to go into some kind of turbo overdrive of some kind. Zalortha is kind of a maybe at the moment, but since our commander causes all of our dinosaurs and vehicles to have additional power, Zalortha kind of makes it so that they have additional toughness as well, which is pretty neat, and it's just a theoretical 7/7 trample. Pretty reasonable to curve into. Speaking of curving into, we're going to start off by looking at all the dinosaurs and vehicles that do have mana value less than 4, and probably add some of the more interesting or powerful ones to our deck. Let's go for dinosaur, MV less than 4. Well, we can probably just order by mana value, honestly. Remember the syntax for that one. So we'll just do it up here. By mana value. Direction, ascending, order, CMC. Understood. I'll forget. There are not a lot of 1-drops. There are, in fact, exactly 1/1-drops. We might play it. It's not very useful from a aggression standpoint, but it is kind of a 2/3 with our commander in play, so it's probably worth it. Amdraptor is a very powerful card, but a lot of our cards are not going to be 2 or less energy, and we're not going to have a lot of energy in our deck, so I'm going to skip that one. This one's really good, though. It works really well with Grimlock specifically, because if a dinosaur comes into play when Grimlock is in play, then it will see the additional power granted by Grimlock and become that much bigger, and then Grimlock will give it additional power on top of that. Cherished Hatchling. Yeah, okay. It's aggressive enough, and if people want to block it, they will probably get punished for that. I don't think we want the 0/3. Drowsing Pteranodon is honestly fine. The 4 or greater power stipulation is pretty easy. Not only does our commander have that, but also makes Drowsing Pteranodon itself 4 or greater power. I don't know if the proliferate's going to do anything, but 2/3 vigilance is fine. 2/2 vigilance is fine. We'll probably cut some of these less interesting low power ones eventually, but they do have a lower bar to hurdle over than some of our higher cost things are going to do, just because we just want to curve out, and it kind of doesn't matter how we do it, because they're all going to get a little bit more powerful when we do. This one is interesting because on curve it's not that good, but it is much better later. So I think it's probably worth it. And I mean, worst case, 2/3 haste, it's fine. I don't know how often we're gonna have creatures with 2 or less toughness. I guess we've got a few of them in the deck right now, but for the time being, this seems reasonable. Just being able to cast Grimlock or some of our higher costing things a little earlier makes a lot of sense to me. Terran Ghost might seem a little weird, but it A, has evasion, and B, regenerates our vehicles, which we will be adding eventually. It doesn't really work well with Marauding Raptor, but that's probably fine. That's kind of a little bad, probably not. Yeah, we're going to be attacking or blocking every turn anyway, might as well. No. How about this? No Corbin tonight. Corbin's busy. Brent should be joining us later. He was caught up in something and is running behind. But in theory, he will be here eventually. And if he's not, then I'll do it all by myself, I suppose. With you. Flying and Menace are pretty good. I don't think we want Siege-Horn Ceratops. It's just we're not really intentionally dealing ourselves damage, and since Grimlock doesn't increase its survivability at all, it's probably not going to happen very frequently. It doesn't matter. This is passive Grave Hate and it grows. That's pretty decent. 3/3 Death Touch. Fine for now. Probably cut it later. Players can't gain life. That's very funny. Take that. It's above curve too. Yeah, I guess so. This card's very good. It is also probably one of the more expensive cards in our deck. Although the commander itself is pretty expensive, but so what we're doing here is we're building Grimlock such that it will be a bracket 2 deck. I figured it'd be interesting to get kind of a lower powered deck build on the channel, and since Grimlock just wants you to play out a bunch of dinosaurs and vehicles anyway, it seemed like kind of an interesting thing to do. On top of that, they've printed a lot of vehicles recently in Aether Drift, and they've been printing more and more dinosaurs recently. So there should be a few interesting new toys to throw in here. I did have a deck around this when it first came out, but I have not updated it in a long time. So some of these I'm going to be seeing for the first time as well. Rostodon seems pretty good. Rampaging Raptors is just good value. Hey, let's make all our dinosaurs big. Not going to be doing any die rolling. This card is pretty reasonable. Can draw you cards passively, and it is a 4/5 with our commander out. We're not going to be casting spells not on our turn. Let's punish people that do. This card has been pretty decent. I have a friend who has a Penslaza deck, and it is pretty good in that deck. I can't imagine it being too bad here. Hammer Skull we'll think about. It's like fine. Brontodon's probably good enough. We don't really want to be removing our dinosaurs from play. Like, kind of the point is to make it so that we have more dinosaurs out. But it is just a powerful enough effect and is reasonable on curve. No game changers, combos, or land denial. Yep. We're going to be having some very few tutors, but not very many because the deck kind of doesn't want them. And like mid-range aggro strategy is just not a very powerful plan in general, so the deck will probably not suffer too much from that. Trickle for black seems pretty reasonable. It is technically more than 4 mana, or more than 3 mana if you are going to use any of its abilities, but the flexibility is pretty neat. I don't know about Topiary Stomper. We don't really want things that can't attack or block under conditions like you need 7 or more lands. We're probably going to be a pretty reasonably high land deck, but it seems like kind of a liability at the start of the game, and we are just trying to smash with dinosaurs, so perhaps not. Same thing with Wayward Swordtooth. That one's probably a little bit easier to get going, but I don't know that we can actually use the additional land drops that well anyway. I guess if our card looks like garbage, we can come back and look at some of that later. After 3 mana, though, we're going to be a little bit more discerning on what these do. They kind of have to do something useful. This one, for instance, exiling things, pretty okay. It's removal. Whenever a dinosaur you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. I think that that's probably good. What kind of ramp? We're probably not going to have a ton of fast mana apart from Soul Ring. We just don't really need it. Like, the plan is to go 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop kind of a thing. I don't know how many 1-drops we're going to get out of this, though, so we might just build with Birds of Paradise and things, and then we can just kind of go from there. Suddenly, a wild Brent appears. What's up, buddy?
Hey guys. Got lost in building my new desk. New place I moved into. So
nice. Anyway, this is good for you to get you in the mindset.
I've been watching.
Okay. Oh, you have. Oh boy.
Yeah. I was keeping up.
Okay. So this card seems pretty reasonable. Because it just like does stuff. This will help us get to Gishath if for some reason we draw it, because we don't really have any control over that. And 5/3 ward 2 for 4 is like fine. Is there anything in particular you see?
I mean, that one's always good for card draw.
Ripjaw's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's true.
Ripjaw's a pretty fantastic card.
Is Rampaging Raptor good? It seems kind of okay.
If
Yeah, that's
Planeswalker they
removable.
control. Yeah.
I don't know how much enrage we're gonna have, but we'll at least consider this one. These 4-drops, we'll probably drop some of these just because it's not as good. Sawhorn Nemesis, though.
Yeah.
Get one person very dead and then probably be sad from that point on, I guess.
I mean, Territorial All-Stars is removable, but it's not very good.
It's really not. I think you can do better than that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
This guy is pretty neat. We got to play a lot of... yeah, we could play Chameleon Colossus. It's kind of mana intensive. I suppose if we're curving out and we don't have things to do with our mana, it's something. Hopefully we just have things to do with our mana, though. This guy's big. We played a lot of Limited over in Chicago. This card was doing some work. And you can put the things on a vehicle, which will be relevant soon, maybe.
Bonehorde.
Bonehorde's pretty good. It is flying, too,
It is
which
flying.
is something that we don't have a ton of.
Right. Should have a few with reach somewhere in
Yeah.
there. But
This one makes 2 dinosaurs. And since our commander rewards us for going wide, we're going to probably play that.
do we want a 5 mana 10 then?
No, not really. I think we have higher standards than that. I like this card. I don't know if it's good, but it seems cool. It makes more dinosaurs.
What's it called? Panicked Allosaur is good for the defense. It just slowly pings. You have a flying blocker.
Yeah, we don't really want to be on the
No.
defensive if we can help it, though. This one makes
I
more
quite enjoy the card.
dinosaurs.
Does make more dinosaurs.
Roll one or more eggs, sacrifice an egg. Heck yeah.
The one that gives haste and makes a 3/3 when it enters.
That one goes wide too. Tari and Mauler, yeah, Tari and Mauler probably makes the cut.
Alphabetically.
We'll
we're
go
not there
back
yet.
for changelings later, I think.
Oh, it's a changeling? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably have to fill in a little bit of changelings anyway because there's only one drop dinosaur. And our standards for things less than 4 are a bit lower. Get some Kogla stuff. It is Myriad. Myriad's cool. Let's do that.
Myriad is good if we're on the offensive.
This one also blows stuff up. I don't think we need it. I don't think that's good enough.
Yeah.
Haste, that's flying, finds. Okay, which Hotley is this Hotley? Dinosaur Knight. I suppose we should look at it, but I can't imagine playing Dinosaur Knight.
I don't remember it being.
I definitely spelled that wrong. HUA. This is from a
Recon.
precon, so it's probably not very good.
I mean, it's a fight spell.
It's not the worst. It is 6 mana though, and I'd
Yeah.
rather just play additional dinosaurs. Had to look though. Or another dinosaur with flying enters the battlefield under your control.
I don't think we have enough flyers.
Yeah, probably not. It is reasonable though. I don't think we need this. I don't think we need this. Trapjaw Tyrant is
Yeah.
pretty nuts though.
Yeah, especially if we get any pink effects going.
Yeah. 6 drops. Probably not going to play a lot of these, but like Atali's pretty good.
Yeah, we don't really need to be on the uncounterable ones.
Yeah. Dinosaurs on a spaceship does give you more dinosaurs if you suspend it.
Yeah, it just gives you one every turn.
Yeah.
Flying too.
And haste, yeah.
Not the worst.
It could be worse, yeah. I don't know that it's good, but it's like fine. What turn do we think we can go off with 1 or 2 dinosaurs? I don't know what you mean by go off, but
Bracket 2, we ain't comboing.
we're not exactly doing a combo. The best that we have is that we can natural order or savage order for Gishath, which will give us more dinosaurs, but we are intentionally making a deck that is less than super powerful.
Oh, I forgot that Kogla thing was also a dinosaur.
Koglan Yadaro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little high cost, but
It's kind of expensive for the effect. I think at this, like at 6, we want it to be like drawing cards or doing something insane, like Regal
I
Behemoth.
mean, it does 4 mana destroy an artifact or enchantment, but like it can't be countered because it's not even a spell.
Sure,
but
but that's not really
yeah,
what we're
yeah.
trying to do. Summoning Carnosaur's removal early and pretty reasonable late.
And it's card draw,
Yeah,
card advantage.
it gives you an additional card, which is pretty cool.
What's your dinosaur? Displace dinosaurs.
Displace Dinosaurs is a card.
It's a funny card to build around, but we're not doing that. Or are we? Matt's hesitating.
We are playing a bunch of vehicles in theory. We're gonna
Oh.
go back and add some vehicles.
That's
and
right.
those are
Forgot we're
historic
doing that.
permanents. That might be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it might not make the cut later, but for now.
Yeah. This we're not doing a lot of. Do you want to play Flipitali?
I don't know, because I'd rather almost play the Galta Mavrin over Italia, and we don't want too many 7 drops.
That's true. This one we can natural order for 2,
Yeah.
I suppose. Going Ceratops does like win the game frequently, and we can Savage Order for it, so it's probably fine. But I don't know how much deeper we're going to go on some of these. Valborn Tyrant is very good. I suppose we should play that, and it's green.
That one just makes dinosaurs for mana.
6 mana though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it.
That's fair.
Board wipe's neat. We don't really want to be casting 8 drops or 9 drops or whatever. This one's also a good one to natural order into, but I think we've got enough natural order targets. What kind of card draw are we going to use? Probably like Return of the Wild Speaker
I think there was
and
one
Rishkar's expertise and things.
before we got dinosaurs. I think there was one at the very bottom. You should be adding.
Galta?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, I guess Galta's fine.
I don't think we're paying 12 mana for it.
We will probably not pay 12 mana for it, but it's probably like the fact that our commander makes it cheaper just by like being on the battlefield seems pretty good. But okay, let's do that again, but now with vehicles. This is probably where some of our ramp is going to come from. Because I know that there's like 2 Manolith vehicles that are probably worth playing.
One that just finds lands too.
Yeah. Voyager Glide Car is a 1-drop. That is about the best that I can say about it. I guess the Scry's one.
Yeah.
Bessie's fine. So a lot of the times we're not going to be playing that many vehicles because vehicles have kind of diminishing returns, one might say, due to not being able to, crew 5 of them with 1 creature or whatever. We might play like Creature Karn or something, original Creature Karn, just to like turn them into dorks to swing with if we have a bunch of them, but we're not going to go like super deep on vehicles and vehicle synergies, probably. I don't know, maybe we'll change that. But one of the things that we can do is, since our commander does not buff itself, generally speaking, it's going to be crewing a vehicle whenever it can. And any creature that we play this turn, if it doesn't have haste, will be crewing a vehicle, and that's probably all we can count on. So we don't really want more than like 2-ish vehicles out at a time. If we draw more than that, we're just going to have a hard time with it. Bessie is pretty interesting though, because it has haste and it makes legendary creatures unblockable. Our commander, again, is probably going to be the thing crewing it, so I won't give it unblockable, but we'll at least put it in for now. We might get rid of it if our legend count is too low, but it is a good card. I don't think we want Dermotaxi.
No, probably not.
You can only do this. It's a creature, which is probably not worth it. I don't think we need this.
There's 3 mana versions that are better.
Well, better for certain versions of the term, but yeah. Reckoner Bankbuster does let us catch up on cards if we find ourselves with nothing to do, but other than that, it's a 4/4. I'm going to put it in for now, but I don't know if we're going to be keeping that. We're not exploring. 2 more to activate. Smuggler's Copter is a good card. It was banned in Standard, I guess.
I'm currently playing into my Brawl deck for the Pirate guy.
Yeah. We're kind of going to be focusing on 3 and less, and then our 5 drops we're going to have like a few of to do powerful effects once we've curved into our commander. Ideally speaking anyway. Obviously you only have so much control over a deck when you are not playing a lot of tutors or blue card draw or what have you, but we're gonna try our best with mathematics
Kind of iffy
to make that happen.
Kind of iffy on Unlicensed Hearst. It is graveyard hate. Also
Yeah.
just gets bigger, but
Hearst is a strong card.
just don't know if it's what we're doing.
It's probably fine. I'm gonna put it in for now.
Okay.
You do still need some amount of removal, like we're probably going to put in Swords to Plowshares and things, but obviously we're not a control deck or anything, so we're not going to be focusing too much on that. Don't have any assassins. We don't care about that or that. RC is on the back, a vehicle. Funnily enough, our commander says that it buffs Transformers, but none of the Transformers that they then printed into real sets are of type Transformer. So he doesn't actually buff any of them unless they are on the backside. But we're not doing any of this stuff anyway, so this one doesn't make the cut. Maybe we'll put some others in later. Maybe.
Cultivator's Caravan is the...
Cultivator's Caravan is one of the things that is ramp at 3. This is kind of ramp. I don't know if we want that.
I think there's a green one that does Cultivator's Caravan again.
There is.
So.
Yeah, it's coming up. And then there's another 3-drop that finds a land.
Yeah.
This one down here.
Mm-hmm.
This one just is a creature right away, which
Do we
is neat,
have a
but
crap load of ETBs that we care about?
I don't know yet.
Getaway car is not like...
Yeah, maybe. I'll put it in for now. We'll probably get rid of it,
Yeah.
but... hey, this one finds a land and is big sometimes. That's cool.
Do you want the Vehicle Lord?
Yes, I do, because it turns all of our vehicles into dinosaurs, which is actually not very necessary, but...
It's thematic.
What are you using for the search engine? Just Moxfield. You can... Moxfield works the same as Scryfall. Anything that you can put into the Scryfall works in Moxfield as well. And then you can add them directly to your deck. You don't have to go back and forth, which is neat. Peace Walker Colossus is fine. Crew 4 is a critical number because our commander has 4 power, and you can turn other vehicles into artifact creatures if we need to. I don't know if we're certain we're going to be doing that, but we might. We're not getting a lot of life. Ratchet doesn't get to go in. There are not a lot of Transformers that are probably actually going to make the cut. Ratchet. Yeah. Friends of ours.
Counters on.
It does. It's probably worth it. Especially since we're going to be playing things of mana value of 4 or greater. So our commander becomes a 7/7 if we play it after this, and then we get to crew this and swing with it, which is neat.
It's removal.
It's removal. That's probably fine.
And then the one next to it's the Dork.
It is. It's another manolith. We're going to again get a little bit more discerning on some of these. Thunderhawk Gunship. That we're not really going to go Reaver Titan deep. We don't really have a good way to get to that mana value very well. We have a lot of expensive dinosaurs in here and not a lot of ways to ramp to them, so we're probably going to cut some of those. But Natural Order and Savage Order help with those, and we don't really have the same tools to get these vehicles out. But maybe. Boommobile is technically removal. It's not very good removal unless you have a lot of mana. I don't think we need to do that.
I don't think so either.
Fleet Wheel Cruiser. Essica's Chariot is kind of interesting because we do have some things that make dinosaur tokens.
Oh, we do, don't we?
But I don't think we have enough to really justify it.
No.
This is ramp, but it's slow ramp, and
It's
not really what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it might not actually ramp.
Mm-hmm. All might be okay. I don't know how often we're going to flip it away from this side, but it grows.
Does.
And at the start, if you put it on this side anyway, it can do some stuff. And it is a 3-drop on this side. Yeah, I'll put it in for now. It's like fine. Nautiloid ship as well is pretty interesting. It is a source of recursion or a way to do grave hate stuff and then get free creatures. I'll put it in for now. We might get rid of that as well.
Yeah, I mean, Savala does draw cards, but only with when a creature enters and it's got the greatest power. And it does tap for mana to your creature's greatest power, but we're not quite to the ramp package yet.
Yeah, we might have Sylvala. It's possible. That kind of card is pretty good in this sort of deck. We'll think about it. 4 greater, 5 greater. I don't know how much of this we're going to bother with. Salvation Engine's pretty good, though. Yeah, Salvation Engine might be worth it. It gets vehicles back, and with it in play, our commander does actually crew it, because it gets the +2/+2 for being an artifact creature.
Oh, yeah.
Could be reasonable. Sky Sovereign's just removal repeatedly, which is pretty good. Slicer! No, we're not doing that.
About that light.
That's its own deck. It can hang out and be its own deck. There's the Thunderhawk gunship. It is giving them all flying is neat. Paying 6 mana for this. I don't know. Maybe on that one. Reaver Titan probably less so. So the thing about this deck, and the reason why we're going to be cutting a lot of these tall drops later, is that our commander adds 2 power no matter what creature it is. So if you have a 12/12 Galta or something like that, it will give it 2 power and turn to 14/12, which is not super impressive. However, if you have a 5 mana 4/4 that creates a 3/3 when it enters, then it gives them both +2/+2, which is 4 power, or +2/+0. It's 4 power, which is significantly more interesting for this kind of a thing. Detention Chariot cycles, I guess. I don't think that's good enough, though. Ultra Magnus is 5 mana on the vehicle side, and it has haste. That seems very easy to flip.
Also,
Throw him in.
indestructible, which is free attacks.
Indestructible is pretty neat.
Especially with the enraged triggers, just like, sure. Like,
Yeah, and more importantly, I played that on the channel when that came out.
yeah.
So, bonus points for callbacks, I guess. All right, let's look at what we got. We got 73 cards. These are not all making the cut because our deck still doesn't like do anything.
I don't think we're going deep on the tokens route, so Parallel Lives isn't exactly where we want to be.
Yeah, if we had more consistent ways to make dinosaur tokens,
Like if our commander.
yeah, if our commander made tokens, or if dinosaurs naturally made like a lot of tokens, then Parallel Lives or something like that would probably be reasonable. But we've got like 4-ish ways, he says, without counting, to make tokens. Let's look at changelings. And we can see if any of these are worth adding. Bloodline Pretenders, probably not. Chameleon Colossus, it has protection from black, but it doesn't really do anything. Apart from be big. And we've got big already.
Glade Walker's removal for different things that are grave, but
This one?
yeah. Oh, sorry, not that one.
Okay.
It's the other. Yeah, Mass Vandal, sorry.
Yeah,
The-
Mass Vandal's probably reasonable enough because at worst, it's just a dinosaur, and sometimes we will get to remove stuff, which could be useful. Tarian Mauler's pretty good. Realm Walker's probably okay.
The that sorcery lets us just turn our lands later into dinosaurs.
Changing the cards in your graveyard. Land cards.
We
in your
are in 3
graveyard.
colors. We're probably playing fetches.
We are probably playing fetches, and I mean, Retrace does discard lands to do it. It's fine. I guess, like, okay, so, like, worst case, if we can consistently get 2 lands into our graveyard by, like, turn 3 and cast this as a 3-mana 2/2, it's, like, fine. I don't know if it's any better than that. I'll put it in considering, and then we'll forget about it later.
Okay. That white changeling makes a changeling when it enters.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, that's 2 dinosaurs for 4 mana.
Works for me. Universal Automaton is a 1-drop dinosaur, and that is good enough. I don't think we need Maskwood Nexus. We've got enough 2-drops. It's less than 2 that we are maybe having some difficulty with. Mere Entity doesn't really help because the dinosaurs are pretty big naturally.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I do like that card though.
There'll be a couple effects like Return to Wildspeaker for draw.
Yeah.
Things like Garruk's Uprising and such.
Let's do some of that now.
Yeah. Rishkar's Expertise.
Yeah. Garruk something or other. That was not a sufficient
I mean,
search.
Colossal Majesty.
Yeah, but we don't really want to like
wait for the
play
card.
that. Yeah. Disciple of Release. Seems good.
It's the land on the other side.
Yeah. Garruk Primal Hunter, that's the card.
Yeah.
So we don't have a problem playing things that like are expensive draw spells because ideally our early turns will be spent playing stupid dinosaurs and then
Do we want Garruk's Uprising? It does give trample to everything. As well as card draw.
yeah, I guess since it cycles when it enters, it's probably fine. Colossal Majesty less good because you need to have it in play first to draw any cards.
Do we want Kenris Transformation as removal / draw?
I don't think we really need it. We're in white. We can have cheaper removal, and cycling is not like we're gonna do our card draw in bursts for the most part if we can help it. Minskaboo is very funny. Unfortunately,
I was looking at it.
we don't have that many. I mean, it works with the changelings. If we throw Tarian Mauler, we get to draw a bunch of cards, but the rest of the time, it's probably not worth it. Unfortunately. We don't really. Momentous Fall and Greater Good are both good cards, but we don't really want to be sacrificing our dinosaurs if we can help it. They might be good enough to make the cut, but I'm not going to put them in because I don't want to kill the dinosaurs. Return to the Loudspeaker, Rishkar's Expertise, both pretty good cards. We can put Saval in since it's staring us in the face, and we'll probably do that later. Anyway. Shamanic Revelation.
Yeah, I'm like stuck on that one. I don't know.
So, if we look at it as like a draw 3, because we're not really going wide, it's fine. But I don't.
It's also draw. It's actually draw 3, gain 12.
Sure. I don't know if we need it.
I mean, if we're completely on the offensive, we're not really be blocking much.
Yeah, we shouldn't need to be blocking much. Hopefully.
The only thing I thought about the testing bell, it does technically the strength testing
hammer
does technically draw cards, and if we get that other dinosaur, it's just 7/7 all of a sudden. But
it's a little bit expensive.
That's just me doing dumb things.
Yeah.
Greater Henge would be cost reduced.
The Great Henge, putting the Great Henge into play is pretty easy. Unfortunately, after we put the Great Henge into play, I don't know how many cards we're going to have in hand. Is the thing. So, like, theoretically speaking, for the game plan of this deck, we will be playing creatures out and then refilling our hand. We don't want to be holding on to creatures, playing something that draws us cards when we play more creatures later, such as Elemental Bond, and then put creatures into play, because then we're like way behind the curve. And if we don't sit way behind the curve and we wait for, or we just play Elemental Bond at the end, we're probably going to have our hand empty. We're trying to go wide, so I don't know that we want to do too much Miri stuff. Okay. Soul Ring. That seems like a reasonable card. Let's play it. Do we want any additional ramp? We have, what, 3 drops and a Soul Ring? I don't think that we need anything else. We could play like Birds of Paradise, I guess, or things of that
Do you
nature.
just want to play the 2-drop land tutors?
Not really. I don't really want to play the 2-drop land tutors. I don't really want to play the talismans because while they do get us to 4 on turn 3, they don't really contribute to the game plan, and they make it so that we are not casting a 2-drop on 2. Yeah, they're not playing to the board, and this deck is mostly just trying to put a bunch of things into play, slam face, and then draw cards if we are out of things to play.
It's fair.
Look at it, he says. Each opponent can block with more than one creature this combat. That is pretty neat. But,
It has to attack.
yeah, it doesn't.
It's not a combat trick that turn.
It's fine. It is a reasonable way to make it so that your opponents can't block your stuff. Ideally, their creatures are no match for yours, and they won't want to block your stuff anyway. But if we need to do things about people blocking things, well, one of the things that we're probably going to have in this deck is Thundering Eruption, because it is UCA land, but also it makes it so that creatures without flying can't block this turn if you actually cast it. Is it no mana denial?
No mass land denial. Oh.
Okay. Well, while you're looking that up, if it's no mana denial of any kind, then we can't play this card. But the rest of the time, they'll make it so that they can't block. We could also add things like Bedlam, if we really want to, which is just creatures can't block. I don't know that we need to go that deep, though.
No mass land denial.
Neat. Done. Easy. Okay. So we have all this. I suppose another thing that we could do in that realm is Iroas. Gives them all menace and makes it so that they can't take damage in combat, but we probably don't need that either. I don't know. Let's.
Do we add removal quick?
We should probably add some pieces of removal. Swords to Plowshares.
We want to give them a land?
I'm not sure. Probably it's fine. It's probably fine.
Especially if it allows us to attack in better.
Yeah, and it doesn't give them life.
What's land
which
going
is
to do when they don't
reasonable.
have fucking life?
Yeah, easy. Lightning Bolt's just kind of a reasonable card.
I mean, we're already playing one, kind of.
I can spell.
I also always do this with Lightning Bolt every time. I don't know why.
What's that new one that gives them a manifest? Or is that bad?
I mean, we don't want them to have blockers, but mean, get rid of something to make it smaller.
Sylvan's probably fine.
Yeah.
Ideally, we won't be casting Sylvan Library on turn 2 a lot of the time, but in the scenario where we need to refill our hand, we can just do that and start losing life, drawing dinosaurs, and turning sideways again.
We're find out how that smothering to life. Could be pointless.
Yeah. Immovable Rod, don't tempt me. We'll do that some other time. I need to make a new Immovable Rod deck.
We'll show you some hot tech with that sometime. Matt loves that card.
I don't currently have an Immovable Rod deck, which is a travesty because I bought a 5th on foil Clock of Omens, not at this Magic Con, but at the previous one, and I just haven't played it yet.
Do you know how hard it is to make a whole pot of Magic players convince them that we have to remove the Immovable Rod that you played on turn 1? And they're just like, this card's bad. I'm like, stop. We need to remove this goddamn card.
It's not that good. Very funny. Anyway, back to the task at hand. Any other removal we want to play? We probably want to play. I would consider Solitude if we have enough white cards. I don't know if we do. Color. Got 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I don't know about that. And we don't really want to go down cards either because we can't really make it back.
I think we might want some fight effects.
Yeah, there is...
Savage Stomp is what it's called, I think.
That sounds correct. Savage Stomp is like a reasonable one. It is mana value 3 normally.
Yeah, right there. 2 less.
Yeah. There are some other things too.
There was a new one from the set that was...
Let's try this first. MV less than 3. We're probably going to be mostly green, just because Natural Order is pretty cool. And just green cards are bigger, generally speaking.
Hear me
Berserk,
out.
easy.
Do we want to be in that full throttle life?
Maybe.
Just like a green removal that was cheaper.
This one's probably okay. It draws a card sort of sometimes. Contest of Claws.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna go that deep. We don't want a ton of this effect either because it doesn't do anything if we don't have any creatures in play. Although if we don't have any creatures in play, we can just pass turn and smile at people. That's what you do in lower brackets, right?
Creature you control, up to 1 target legendary creature you control, each deal damage.
Yeah, this is better when your creatures are smaller, but we probably don't need to do that.
I saw it instant.
This one.
Let's read it.
Damage equal to power target creature or planeswalker you don't control. 1 mana.
Yeah.
Easy. This one too. We're not going to have an Eldrazi frequently, but we do have some Eldrazi in the deck. Warstorm Surge is another one of those things that the problem is that you need it in play first before you play your creatures. And we're probably going to play all of our creatures before we get to 6 mana, or at least most of them.
Come back to it, obviously, because we're looking at everything, but just so I don't forget, do we want to be on Heroic Intervention? Board wipes kind of just screw us, so...
Maybe. Flawless Maneuver is also pretty good, and the White Flare could be okay.
Yeah.
Especially since our commander's white.
That's how good.
Enters target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control, and then it does other stuff. This seems okay. These are not things that we'll be frequently doing on curve. But if we have extra mana lying around, those are pretty reasonable,
Right.
and it's just a removal spell up top. That's probably fine. Ward's funny? Sure, this is a fight spell. I don't know if all these are going to make the cut, but... Oh, Quick Reflexes is both a protection spell and a way to deal damage to stuff.
Yep.
Which is
Also,
neat.
just like becomes a blocker too. They're like, oh, he's tapped out. We're like, haha.
Yep, surprise blocks, and you can't even do anything about it. This does give trample, maybe that's good. I don't know about that.
I mean, the run over one just does damage to their face instead, and it's instant speed.
That's true, that's probably better. Ram through does as well.
And it's less if you count a target amount.
Or vehicle.
Sorry, vehicle, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Don't care about the mount. We don't want to do those.
Yeah, ram through's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how much this is actually going to make it in, but for now, Stump Stomp.
Yeah.
Why not?
Land one.
We don't have any 1-drops. We'll just play that. We don't care if we have a tapped land or two. It's bracket 1. What are they going to do? Okay.
Bracket 2.
Yeah, bracket 2. That one too.
We're not just making a pile of lands.
Dragon's a little bit better because it is actually a creature and it has high power and it costs less mana. We're probably not going to play it just because we're not expecting to put it into play and then trigger it a bunch of times, but we'll at least think about it. Terror of the Peaks is the name of the card.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, but probably not. But maybe. Okay. Other things this deck needs to do.
Oh, the heroic interventions and stuff. You want them?
Yeah, okay.
We're so far over.
The problem with heroic intervention specifically is that you have to keep up 2 mana for it, which is unfortunate when you're trying to slam 5-drops or whatever, but I guess eventually you're going to run out of things to do.
Right.
Flawless Maneuver does not have that problem.
It either does Flare of not Cultivation. Yeah.
Flare of
No.
Fortitude.
Flare of Faith?
I think it's Fortitude.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't seem horrible.
It's fine. We can sack our commander if we need to, or this Snubhorn Sentry that we'll have lying around. Okay. We have a lot of cards.
We didn't even add that many lands yet.
We haven't added any lands. Well, I guess we got like 3. We have a lot of cards. Let's add some lands and then cut a bunch of cards. So our curve is going to be quite high and we have very little ramp.
Shared Animosity works better if you're attacking with a bunch of creatures like vampires.
I mean, we are trying to do that, but our commander's sort of a shared animosity,
Yeah.
and it crews vehicles, attacks for damage and shit.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
It is pretty good though, so we'll at least think about it.
Our vehicles are not dinosaurs unless that one card's out. So.
Okay, so on turn 5, we will have how many cards that we've drawn if we haven't drawn any extra?
7 plus 5.
Yeah, so that's 12. And we want to have 5 lands out. Getting to our 6th land is going to be a little bit more of a struggle, but if we optimize for getting to 5 lands by turn 5, that's probably sufficient to make our deck run. If we have 40 lands, it's going to be tough. So we're going to go up to 45 and see how that looks. 72, maybe a little bit higher. 48. 79.
We have so much cutting.
We have a lot of cutting to do. 48. I don't want to play 48 lands. We're going to go down to 46. Yeah, that's about 75% to get to 5. And that's not even counting like Soul Ring and stuff. I guess Soul Ring can
come out of that 46.
Yeah, so we got 45 lands that we need to add.
Still ringing the 2 dorks.
The 2 dorks.
The vehicle dorks.
Oh, we have 3 ramp. 3 ramp vehicles. 42 is kind of an optimistic number, I think. But we can go for 40.
Count each one of those ramps as half.
Yeah, it's like 43.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sure, 43. So while I'm putting in a bunch of lands, is there anything else that you can think of that we need to add?
No. We got removal, interaction, card draw, creatures, and did you put the tutors in before I got here?
The 2 of them that we're playing, yes.
Okay.
We could technically add a 3rd without people probably complaining too much, but I don't think we need to.
No.
Like, it'd probably be Green Sun Zenith, and I don't know that we need that.
Yeah, that seems questionable. Yeah, I don't think we're on that Eldritch Evolution life.
Yeah, Aldrich Evolution's not bad, but
How many 5 drops are there that like because we can consistently get our commander out, right?
yeah,
What 5 drops?
5 and 6.
5 and 6 are powerful enough for us to.
I mean, our 6 drops are pretty powerful, but also
Powerful enough to replace our
we have to
commander.
sacrifice specifically our commander, and we're trying to like all these things. All the things we played before our commander get a lot worse if we sacrifice it.
Yeah.
We do have a little bit of Grave Hate.
You know what's the best grave hate? Player removal.
Sure. We've got scavenging. What's it? Where is he? I mean, we might be cutting some of this as well. It's definitely a 3-drop. Death Gorge Scavenger is Grave Hate. So is
Hearse.
Hearse.
Hearse is pretty good grave hate.
Hearse is pretty good Grave Hate. But yeah, we'll see on some of that. I'm missing. I don't want to. I should probably come up with a command to just
1, 2, 3.
find all of these.
You're missing some still.
Yeah, I know.
Misty.
This
How do we
isn't
get
there.
there?
Yeah, that one I grabbed for sure.
Ferdinand, Wyvern, Windswept. So you got all the green ones. You're missing white ones.
That sounds right.
White blue. And white black. Yep, those are the last 2 that we're missing. White's like our these colors.
Alloyed Ship is pretty good. We did think about adding that, so we did. There it is.
Do we want to play Cavern?
Do we want to play Cavern of Souls? It is a good card, and it makes sense in the deck, except that our commander is not a dinosaur on the front face, and
I could also see it eventually ending up on the Game Changers list.
yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think it will, because it is a quote-unquote fair card, in that it lets
You
the
stop countering.
the lower color decks deal with counter spells. We can put it in. Why not? If this was like a more budgety build, we'd probably skip it.
Yeah.
But since it is just a bracket 2 kind of a thing, and we're already playing all these fetch lands and this overpriced commander, yeah, we'll just kind of go with it. Exotic. Exotic Orchard. We want to probably play the Verges, because they are pretty decent.
I'll look at a card before I suggest it.
Okay.
Sound dumb.
Yeah, too late. We can probably throw in
Yeah.
a couple of surveil lands. What does our colors look like? Not that we're going to keep it that way. Green. And all of the green surveil lands.
I don't have these names memorized.
I do. That's
Yeah.
fine. We do not need the elegant parlor this time, perhaps. Mirari's Wake has kind of the same problem as all of those other cards, that you need it to be in play before it does anything, and ideally you will have used all of your mana for things before then. We're trying to keep our curve a little bit low. Don't look at any of this.
Did you do the shocks when I wasn't looking?
I did not add the shocks. You are right. I'm not going to add the duels. I think that's a bridge too far, as it were.
Yeah, for bracket 2? Yeah, maybe a little.
I mean, whatever. They're not that much more powerful than the shocks.
No, but there's people that will.
Yeah, I know.
Battlebond lands.
Yeah, those are probably reasonable.
Spire Garden.
I was trying to remember the name of the stomping ground. Spire Garden, we can add.
Bountiful Promenade.
Yep.
Specifically the green ones. That's where we're definitely at.
Promenade, and the white one is Spectator Seating. Additional lands we could and or should play. There are 2 versions of
Unclaimed Territory.
Unclaimed Territory.
And what's the new one? Duskmourn? Is it?
No, it's Unclaimed Territory. It's out of Ixalan? Secluded Courtyard?
Yes, it is secluded. Didn't even get it finished, typed in.
Pretty sure. Let's make sure I didn't add a random card before we go. Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
All right.
Can't help us cast our commander. Well, it could.
We're probably not going to name
Dinosaur.
Autobot because it's not actually a real creature type, but if we wanted to, we could. Kessig's probably good. We can add a few interesting utility lands like Kessig Wolf Run. We could probably add the red white one as well. I should probably know the name of this card. They run it in Amulet Titan, even though I don't play Modern.
What are we doing?
The Innistrad land in red white that you can pay red white, tap it, and give a creature. Like it's +1/+1 in haste. Until his turn. That said, Boseiju is a card.
There's that new start your engines that gives haste.
Yeah, okay. This one. I don't think we need the other 2.
No.
Colorless Mana's not. Well, Colorless Mana's fine.
Arena of Glory.
Arena of Glory is probably worth putting in.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that briefly.
Otherwise, it's just
We can play Castle Garenbrig. Find all the lands that add haste. Should probably be playing most of them. Hall of the Bandit Lord. I don't know if that... It's Slayer's Stronghold. There it is. 2/0 Vigilance and Haste. There we go. I found it.
Vigilance is also pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think we need this.
No.
Or any of that.
I mean, the white one's also removable, but whites are like our... If the green one is the only one that I would sage you.
I mean, we're probably going to play all of them. Let's find all the MDFC lands and add the ones that we care about. Pathways are pretty reasonable. Amiria's Call is technically a thing that we could do if we are flooded.
And you get indestructible. You want the fling effect just to like murder somebody?
I don't want too many coming to play tap lands, but I suppose it's
And
fine.
it's still an instant, so
Stop that. This one. Pinnacle Monk is technically
Okay.
better than like a mountain most of the time, I suppose.
Valakut's
Under
hand
option.
go.
This one's pretty good. Valakut Awakening.
Let's supposed to
Hopefully
change out
we
our
are
hand.
not
Yeah.
on that. Witch Enchanter is probably worth playing.
The Boseiju.
Sage is already in.
Oh, okay.
I didn't put in Iganja though. Joe, the Empire. We have too many. We should probably add some basics.
Yeah, especially since you probably have that dinosaur in there that gets basics right now.
Yeah, and Prismatic Vista's in here.
Do we cut the non-green like spectator seating?
We could cut spectator seating. That makes sense to me. I don't think we even need Secluded Courtyard
No.
and the other one.
Yeah, we only said it like 6 times.
Oh no, I've only remembered now and not the other now. Do we want Morgana Raceway? I guess we got a lot of expensive cards.
Why do-
Hopefully we'll have less.
Why do I
but
feel like it's near the bottom alphabetically?
Unclaimed territory.
Yeah.
You're right.
I had that much
We
down.
can probably cut the pathways as well. They're good, but we just don't need them. It's been a minute since I put pathways into a deck that isn't trying to like gain impact using 2 colors or anything, just because like they're very good, but you just don't need them anymore. They keep printing good lands. 31, 41. We want to add
45 we decided, or 44? 43.
40. Let's go up to 45. Let's add 2 forests and one of each of the others.
Okay.
And that's probably still too few. We might want to cut a few more non-basics for basics at some point, but we'll keep it like this for now, I think. Maybe we don't need Flingland.
Yeah,
Just add another forest instead.
that sounds better.
Come and play tapped and all that. All right. This is a respectable number of lands, which means we have to make 46 cuts.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to start at the top.
Technically, with our what 4 mana dorks, we're at 50% ratio.
Ish, yeah. Okay, we're going to start at the top. Galta doesn't do anything apart from be big. I don't think we need it.
That's fair. We already are doing other pumping.
Yeah, Gishath is kind of the reason for the season a little bit. He's pretty cool. This draws cards. This is actually 5-drop. This is actually a land. This wins the game. Galta and Mavrin makes dorks. The 1/1s don't do anything, and the big one is another 12/12.
But it's whenever you attack, not
Yeah, it's
specifically
not
it.
just that.
So
That is true. It's fine.
I think we're off the displays for dinosaur, if anything.
Displaced Dinosaurs is pretty cool,
I mean, those
though.
are our vehicles, I guess.
It turns our vehicles into dinosaurs, so you don't have to crew them anymore, and they still have all their abilities.
So we're at what? 1, 2. Not counting the one that we're turning into a 5-drop. 3,
This is the land.
4. I'm not counting that either.
Okay.
5 creatures that are at mana value 7.
This is also a land.
Didn't count that either. Or 7 or 8. Sorry.
Yeah,
Good
7
shit.
or 8. Okay.
Sorry. 7.
At the moment, yeah. That's probably like reasonable. We could maybe cut one of them later.
4 we plan on casting. 1 we plan on going
Tutoring
into.
for.
Yeah.
Well, we can tutor for either of these as well, and
Yeah.
they are pretty good. And this one, I don't think we're frequently looking to cast this one either. Maybe this one's not good enough. It's
'Cause
just a 7/7.
As you said, then you have to keep things in
Yeah.
your hand. We're not about that.
Okay,
So
fine. Be that way.
using your own logic against you, I'm sorry.
No, it makes sense. We should be consistent.
Pet cards. I do want to build a
It
deck
would
around
be
that
really
sometime.
cool.
We do need to
That's
do
all
that
I'm
on channel, though.
saying.
We just need to build a deck around that card specifically in the channel sometime.
I don't know that the card's good enough to do that, but yeah, maybe.
I think it's funny.
What about anthems? Our commander is one. Look at that. It gives all of our dinosaurs and vehicles +2/+0. Also, we've got like one or two others in here. Which one is it? This one is one, kind of, and there is a vehicle, the Life Crafter or something. Why can't I spell? Lifecraft Engine is one, and there's another.
The white one.
This one is one.
+2.
Yeah, that one is one, but it isn't. It isn't for the dinosaurs. It's only
No.
for the vehicles and our commander, I suppose. So it's like kind of one. Stuff that gives haste. We have a few lands that do it, and we also have what's his face?
There's the dinosaur that gives haste. Yeah, Regisaur.
Yeah,
5 mana.
Regisaur Alpha gives all of our stuff haste.
Stuff that gives vigilance.
We probably don't need vigilance. We're going to be crashing in, and they're either going to be blocking and losing their creatures, or they're going to be taking large enough chunks of damage that we shouldn't probably care.
We did have like one or two anyways that were accidental off other things. I forgot what they were. There was like some vehicle that gave vigilance or something. Or some spell or something. There was like one or two things that gave
Slayer Stronghold does give vigilance
That
as
too.
well.
Yeah.
And haste. But
there was a few things that gave accidental vigilance, but we'll just take it when it comes with that stuff.
yeah, I don't think we're trying to go too deep. Okay, 6 drops. 6 drops. This one draws a card and is early removal.
Yep.
This is card draw. This is card draw. This is card draw.
Just makes dinosaurs.
It is kind of a 5 drop,
Yeah.
but yeah, I still like this card. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep it.
For 5 mana over 4 turns, you get 4 2/2s and a 7/7.
Yeah. This dork gives all of our dorks at least +0/+2. Is that enough? Because they are all larger in power, and this makes them easier to survive stuff, maybe? Maybe that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're about that life. I think that's not.
Yeah, it's probably a little one more. This is removal, this is card draw, this is removal.
Card draw.
This one's removal, and it makes a bunch of dorks.
Yeah, myriad.
This only pumps our vehicles, and they need to be dead for it to like really do anything else.
Yeah.
Maybe that's too much.
Probably. It's really not lining up with our whole game plan, just part of
It
it.
does make our commander bigger.
But like,
Yeah, it's probably not good enough. It's very cool though. I kind of want to play it some other time. Makes 2 dorks, gives them all haste, card draw, or pump spell. Makes more dorks, but it does need to hit. No, creatures you control with trample need to hit. How many tramplers do we have?
specifically, probably lower than that we need to look at. Because the ones above it, I know there's quite a few.
Okay, we're gonna keep our eye on this one, and we're gonna
Okay.
look at tramples as we go. This is a land. This is card draw.
Yeah, that card's annoying.
Yeah. This one makes 3 dinosaurs, and sometimes on your turn you get different dinosaurs, and it gives haste. So that's probably all worth it. This is card draw. This makes 2 dinosaurs. They both have trample. Less trample.
Yeah.
This is card draw and gives us more dinosaurs. This guy's just big, I guess.
And
I mean,
combat trick, and he's got trample.
yeah, I don't know if he's like, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like we should probably cut it just because we need to make 42 more cuts.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna move Trample Guy out too because we need to make 41 more cuts.
Okay.
This is a land. This only works for 1 player. Maybe that's not good enough.
What if we take lands out?
Easy.
Crown
He's
of
probably
Doom.
not good
I don't know if we're adding much more right now. The deck's pretty good as is. We just got to figure out what like
Good is a strong word for it,
for
but
what it's trying to do. Anyways,
we don't really need that kind of effect. Like I said, our commander kind of does that, and then we got to pay mana to do it.
we're in the 5 drops.
We are on the 5 drops. We're done with the 5
Yep.
drops. These are all fine. We're on the 4 drops. This is sweet. This is card draw. It's kind of removal. I probably don't need that. We probably don't need that one either.
No,
As
just
cool as it is to make all of our
rage. Yeah.
rage effects work, we're probably not going to be doing that. This is a 3-drop, and it grows.
But like once a turn, right? Whenever a creature.
Yeah, it keeps growing. I don't know that we're going to get it to happen more than once a turn, but if we do, then we get to remove something. And then we'll draw a card and turn back. It's interesting. I kind of want to keep it.
Okay.
We might cut it later. This makes 2 dinosaurs.
That light chip really like good for us to keep.
Yeah, we probably don't need this. I mean, we don't need to ramp that hard.
No.
I mean, we do, but we don't, you know?
Yeah, at the same time.
This draws cards pretty well.
And it doesn't have to be itself either.
Yeah, that's vigilance. This is removal. Ramp, removal. Removal. It's technically a 4-drop or 5-drop if we want to. More graveyard hate, by the way.
Yeah. Whole graveyard.
This is removal, but we have to sack the creature.
And I think we had other ways. I think we had plenty of ways to.
Yeah, we probably don't need that. This is sort of removal for blockers, which is fine. It's very large. That's very good. Land. Additional ramp and potential card draw. It's probably fine.
I don't know.
I don't know if we need it.
Unless we have one of the giant spells that refills our hand, it's just gonna kind of sit there.
Yeah, I gotta put in considering.
Okay.
Scytheclaw Raptor is funny. It's very aggressive, and it punishes our opponents for playing the game, which is neat. I don't know how often Runic Armasaur works in Bracket 2, because I have not played that level of game in a minute.
Yeah. I don't know if it's. We have a lot of other card draw. I don't know if we need to rely on our opponents to give us card draw.
Yeah, other than that, it's only a 2/5.
Yeah.
But considering this is a thing, this is card draw.
The ramp?
We don't really have ways to trigger it
No.
ourselves, though.
No, it's just kind of like we're gonna attack and maybe trade with something, like, and then get a land for it.
Yeah. This card's very funny. And
I mean,
it's
it does
menace.
trigger enrages for random things, and yeah. And they
No,
gain
it doesn't trigger enrage its players.
Oh, creature controller. Oh.
Very funny though. This is just large. Maybe that's not good enough. Probably not. I mean, 3 mana 6/6, very cool. Probably don't need it though.
I don't think we're gonna have problem crewing our other vehicles.
Hopefully not. I'm gonna put that. Considering World Wagon's ramp, Lifecraft Engine is good for a lot of reasons. This card's funny and it's flying. Flying is a premium.
Yeah, they can't just keep playing jump blocker tool.
Yeah. This is ramp of the best kind because it means that we can just cast Galba for 3 mana if we end up doing that. This one's pretty neat and it has trample. Get away card.
Really need to get. Do we really need
I don't think we
two
can get
big
away.
hand gain life effects though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if we do, but they're both like 3 mana and below creatures just being good on rate is pretty good.
But
And this is a 4/3 trample for
We
3.
have 23 of them.
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
You have 29 more cuts to make, and we're only at 3 drops.
That means that we cut 20 cards between the last time when we looked at it.
That's fair,
Or
but
11
three and
cards.
4
I don't
drops
know.
were high, so like.
Yeah, we'll go back through it once
Okay.
we don't cut things. It might not make it. This is card draw. And trample.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm the one that suggested it, but I
Okay. If you're having second thoughts, we're getting rid of it. This just has Death Touch, and that's kind of it. Yeah. This is removal and it grows, or graveyard things. This is ramp. Graveyard shenanigans.
the only instant speed graveyard shenanigans we have.
Yeah. Which you probably don't need as much of it if you were playing bracket too, but it grows very large very quickly.
Yeah.
7 library adjust cards. This is a land. Smuggler's Copter as flying.
Do we want to be looting?
Looting is pretty okay. We don't really get anything out of the discard for the most part, but
Just that one changeling spell if we played it, but I don't think we are.
we'll probably cut it on the next pass, but for now it's good. Flying Menace 2/2 seems good.
Mhm.
That's a land. That's removal. 3/3 Vigilance for 2 is decent. And it becomes a 5/3 afterwards.
Yeah.
It's
Won't
probably
attack
fine.
if we just crew with it.
Bankbuster we probably don't need.
Yep.
We've got enough card draw, and that is not very good as a vehicle. Terran Ghost as flying is mostly it. It regenerates our Nautiloid ship and things.
Is that why we added it?
Yeah, because 2-drops are at a premium. We can probably cut it. Mass Vandal, same thing. It requires a bunch of hoops to be good.
Yep.
Marauding Raptor.
Technically ramp.
It is technically ramp. It does kill a certain number of things that we try to play.
Yeah. How many things only have 2 toughness though?
Let's find out. Nothing up. Well, Universal Automaton, Bludgeon Earling, Cherished Hatchling. Wally Snubhorn,
We're probably removing that anyways. It's just a 2/2 with vigilance.
probably. We do need a certain number of 2/2s though. Well, we need a certain number of 2-drops that are actual creatures, because a lot of these are
Removal,
spells.
yeah.
So I'm a little hesitant to remove that because it is just like a 2/2 or a 2-drop rather. Doesn't kill that. Kills that. Is it non-token?
Nectar up.
Okay, it kills the tokens off of
Oh, yeah.
the Hatcher.
And the other one
and
that's
the
the spend one.
Stonehard, and that one too.
So maybe we do cut it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. It's just a little bit too awkward with the rest of our deck. I want to play it though. We can probably cut some of these 2-mana bites as we go through here as well. This is a 3/3 for 2. Probably fine. This is a 2/3 for 2. I mean, it's better than this. So if we're playing this, we're playing that.
Yeah.
This one's pretty sweet. Okay, how many legends do we actually have? Apart from our commander, we have this one. Two, 3 technically. 4, 5, 6. All is 7,
Galta or Gishath 7.
8. That's probably not enough.
Yeah.
It's cool. I don't think we need it. 1-drops are all removal. Okay, we probably have too much removal. I think we added too much bite effects and things.
Can't you sort it by know what they do?
I cannot because, well, I can put them by the tags that I have on my channel, but I cannot change the tags here.
Oh.
Or on my thing. So I can group them by tag, but I can't update them, and a lot of these are not going to be tagged, is the problem. this? Action creature. Save. Yeah, didn't do anything. Okay. Card draw. We've got a lot of card draw.
I don't know if Sylvan Library is where we want to be at then, if we got that many. Like, 'cause we have.
Yeah, it is consistent card draw later. Like, if you think of it as a 5-drop that draws 2 cards a turn, it's okay. I guess we don't need it. I don't really want to count this as card draw because we have to sack creatures, and I don't really want to count this because if we have that in play, we don't really need to draw any more cards. But
So, what if down to 11 without those two? Either Smuggler's Copter or Sylvan Library, one of those two. But, like, I just don't feel like we need more than 10 card draw.
Smuggler's Copter is fairly card draw. Okay. Yeah. I haven't updated these in a long time.
So, I know Death Gorge. No, you want 3 drops. Never mind. So, like, I know it grows, but I don't really, like, the Exile in the Graveyard is.
Yeah, we need 3 drops though.
Yeah.
Because ideally we play 2-drop into 3-drop. Because we're not going to be hitting very many 1-drops because we've only got the 2 of them. Because there are only 2 of them.
Ooh, it's been a long day.
Yeah. Yeah, we probably have like more than enough bite spells. I'm gonna swap this back to bite type, just so we can look at these sorceries and stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish, 6. 7, 8-ish, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and we are not even counting the creatures that fight and stuff.
Or, like, discard to do 3 damage, yeah.
Yeah, and this is not a control deck. So yeah, we can probably remove some of those. What are the worst ones?
That's just a 1 mana.
It is a 1 mana,
Put
but
a
it is
counter on too.
bite instead of bite.
Mean.
The counter is pretty neat though.
Yeah.
Contest the Claws theoretically draws a card.
Lightning Bolt is like, I know it just deals 3 damage.
Ram Throw is probably not necessary. Lightning Bolt. We just don't have very many 1-drops, is the thing. Yeah, probably fine. It could kill someone though. Runover's fine.
It's instant speed too.
Yeah. I'd like to cut like 1 more though.
Then do Savage Stomp, that's fine. If you don't like Savage Stomp, since it bites back.
Yeah, I mean our stuff should be bigger, but especially after we put a +1/+1 counter.
It is a 1-drop technically.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason that I'm leaning towards keeping it.
What's the Razorgrass Ambush? Oh, it's land on
It's
the
a
back.
land. Oh right, Hunter's Bow is one of those too. We can remove that. Reach and Ward 2 is neat, but we don't need it.
We also took
Sorcery
that.
speed.
We also took that dinosaur out that would make it a 7/7. So
Yeah, that too. It doesn't even work with the dinosaur because I mean it turns it into a 7/7, but you don't get the ETB trigger anymore.
right.
So that's kind of a nombo. You are welcome to make any suggestions you want. We may even listen. Okay, we're at 118.
Jesus, never had this problem before.
Okay. How many 2-drop creatures do we actually have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like a little light. I don't know about that one. How many 3-drop creatures? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That seems fine. Maybe a little much because we have some 4, 5, 6 3-drop vehicles as well. So we probably want to cut either 3-drop creatures or 3-drop vehicles to just lower our number of 3-drops in this deck. To buy mana value.
Yeah.
Something is flying. It's good. Fine. Caravan is ramp. Makes it harder to block.
Yeah, but it has to attack. I mean, yeah, if we get it out early, it's fine. But if we don't, it's...
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe like one more. Maybe one of the vehicles. This one.
You get the manifest dread when it leaves. So like, gives them a blocker. You don't really want that.
Yeah, but it removes a blocker when it enters.
It does.
It's got flying. Probably not as good as our other vehicles though, and we kind of have a lot of those.
Right. We have a lot of removal too. Still,
Yeah.
we weren't even counting this in our removal.
Counts, yeah.
Yeah. So like,
we still need to cut 15 cards. Oh boy. And I still don't think we have enough 2-drops, but that's fine.
let's just cut.
Okay.
Let's just cut Grimlock.
I don't think we're gonna do that. I don't think we can cut any more. Well, we could probably cut 1 or 2 3-drops. I don't think we can cut any more 2-drops. Or 1-drops, probably. As much as I want to cut Universal Automaton because it's not very good, maybe we do cut Universal Automaton.
Yeah, I don't know if we care about having a 1/1 on. Like, it becomes a 3/1, right? That still just trades with a
not very
1/1.
good. Yeah, that's fair.
They just put a token in front of it, and we're like,
Yeah, this becomes a 6/3 though, or a 2/3 if we don't. Yeah,
yeah.
it's probably sufficient.
Read a 5/3, not a 6/3. I don't know. That seems like a lot. Like, what's it doing towards? I don't think we need to worry about turn 1. I think we're playing a tapped land. 9 times out of 10 are fetching for a tapped land. We're more likely to play it on turn 2 when we fetch for a second tap land.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Get rid of it. The 6th Doctor and Clara. Have you ever built a 6th Doctor and Clara deck?
I don't know. Have I ever? I actually have 2 of those. One for Planeswalkers and one for Bobblehead Tribal. Clara is white in both of them, so they're both Bant decks. So I actually have done that. That is exactly copying stuff is my weird. Because like one of my favorite higher tier decks is Calamax. So like copying things is on my favorite to do list.
It is pretty neat.
I was a little sad, but I didn't get to play the white blue artifact one that just came out with the Searcher engine stuff. But I didn't jump on it fast enough, and Nate took it and
Oh, yeah, Mendicant
didn't do it well enough.
he didn't draw any lands.
Yeah,
He did win the second game.
he did.
Despite my best efforts, or something resembling best efforts. Okay, I don't think we're cutting any more of these. We got 13 to cut, which means we got to look at these.
Sean, if you're interested in
How
like
about this?
just if you're interested in those deck lists and talking about them, feel free to join our Patreon, to join our Discord.
Yeah.
Definitely willing to talk about them. It's pretty good. How do you feel about having 4 or 5 Tefiris, Travelers, any of the Tefiris actually on the field at one time? It's good. It's kind of a control deck until you can get the Planeswalkers out.
Not a light ship might be a little much. I like it, but
I think it's a little much.
it's probably a little much. I guess we can cut Prowl. Prowl's a 3-drop. I should have counted that in our 3-drops. Maybe it's draws cards. It's removal sort of. I don't know. I think it's sweet, but I guess we could get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah, when I built that Bant Planeswalker deck, I was tired of Planeswalkers getting killed all the time, and the best way to do that is to have more of them out. The best way to do that is to do them all at once. How does it win? Yeah, that's a thing. My opponents don't get to play the game, and I beat them down with very little creatures, like Clara and such. No, I don't. I don't like comboing with it. I could, technically. It's not as much fun. I just stop them from playing the game with certain emblems. So
I guess we can cut Sky Sovereign. Sky Sovereign's pretty sweet though.
yeah,
And it triggers Enrage on our Trapped Tyrant.
it does just trigger random enrages if we want it to.
Yeah,
Like,
that's probably fine. I don't think we should cut it. 5 mana for 2/3/3 is good, or 2/5/3s, I should say. Probably. It's probably. I don't know.
yeah, we have
It's
the
a little expensive.
we have the 4 mana version.
Yeah, and we have 2 other 5-drops that make tokens.
Yeah,
And this thing that makes tokens, and these tokens are better.
yeah, we're better.
I like this card.
We don't care if they die.
Yeah.
I'm saying at the poor guy that doesn't have a good blocker for it, and the rest just okay. If you block him,
I
you
guess
block
dinosaurs on the spaceships may be a little aspirational.
him. Yeah,
It's really cool.
I
though.
like the card, but yeah,
Regal Behemoth also, like, the Monarch is cool.
but we're also not leaving
What?
blockers up.
We're not leaving blockers up, ideally, and the extra mana is probably unnecessary.
Yeah, once you get to 6, yeah.
Vault-Born Tyrant is a very good card. I think we keep it. I don't think we cut any of those. Yeah. Uh-oh, we still need 7 cuts. 7's all less than 42, though. We've done a good job at that. Anyway.
I've just never had this many lands in a deck in a while, so it's getting rough.
We could cut some. It's just probably not a good idea. We could probably cut the Morganda Raceway.
Yeah, I can see us going down
Something.
2 lands to 43 because
Sure.
we do have
Yeah.
like a couple other ways of getting stuff.
We could cut one of the Surveil lands because we're not like really about that life. We have less of white. Okay, we can cut the green-white Surveil land, I suppose. Which is
Was in Razor? What's
Lush.
Razor Verge Thicket? I forget what that card does.
Oh, that is not the card I intended to add. It's supposed to be the other Verge.
Okay.
This one, Westwood Verge. There we go.
Okay. I was like, I know it's a land, like I know it's green white, but I just can't
Yeah,
think what it
it's supposed
does.
to be this one. I guess we cut the red white Verge. We probably don't need that.
Yeah, right there, Thornspire.
That's the other one.
Red white.
Some
You're right.
below. Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, I think our layout lands need to focus on green since it's 50% of our deck. And it's part of our ramp.
Yeah, it's really hard to attack down your planeswalkers if you have 3 of the same one.
Plus the that one that you can cast at instant speed that removes tapped creatures is pretty good. Getting 3 or 4 of those out at once and then making a bunch of 2/2s on your next turn to block.
Yeah.
It's pretty fantastic.
Or another reason to be white, if you're a degenerate, you can play Moat.
There is-
Moat and Humility.
There is that. I didn't think about that. I could be on that route.
Humility's very good. Moat is funny.
I just like the Flash Planeswalker because it gets around the 6 doctors once a turn.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, the Wandering Emperor.
yeah,
And it makes 2/2s.
does make 2/2s.
Block.
Or just exiles tap
Yeah,
creatures.
or you could do that, I guess. 5 cards to cut. Okay. I don't want to cut any of these. It's probably correct to cut Ultra Magnus, but I don't want to, so we're not going to. I think all of these cards are very good, and one of them's a land. I think all of these cards are very good, and some of them are lands, except for Sky Sovereign's a little iffy, but
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I see so much use for it, but also like, is that really what we need to be doing?
kinda. I don't know. Well, the fact that it enters or attacks, it gets the pink stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of want to keep it in. And it's got
I
flying.
know it's a flyer, and I know we don't really remove 3 drops, but good golly, Sunwing. Like, I know it has their creatures under tap, but like,
It does make it harder to block.
we're gonna just kill the creatures anyways when we attack.
Fine.
I think Death Gorge Scavenger is also just like that. Growing bigger is not the bigger that we like once a turn bigger. I think Tolerating Mauler is fine because it'll grow ridiculously
very
big.
good.
But
Yeah, copying Mindslaver is pretty neat.
yeah, that's in my artifact version, the bobblehead version deck. It's Mindslaver, Thrones in there, Gonti's Aether Heart's in there. All the legendary artifacts that you can make that are cool. The one that discovers 5 year end step. The one that
Showmel or something.
yeah, Chimili or whatever it's called. The 9 mana when it enters, each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures.
Portal to Phyrexia.
Yeah, and you reanimate. Yeah, copying that once or twice, they just one side board wipe is pretty cool. It costs a lot, but you're ramping a lot because your commanders cost 6 each. So
It's this. Card's really cool though.
and it does destroy target artifact or player. That it's just that player controls though. So as long as they have blockers,
Yeah, but you have Myriad.
yeah, you do have myriad. So you just keep doing it. Oh,
Be fine though.
yeah, 5
We got a
mana.
little too many 5-drops.
Yeah.
2 more cards. Do you want a regular cohort?
Yeah, like we have other.
We have other ways to do that.
Yeah.
More or less. 1 more card. Okay.
Probably our removal pile.
This one then.
But that one's also a dinosaur.
Yeah. But
I guess
it's a 3 mana 3/3
Yeah,
or
you're right,
4
it is.
mana 3/3 that blows up an artifact.
You're right, because we're not going to be doing. I mean, the graveyard, but we don't really.
As a 4-drop, it's probably not that good. Alright, I don't know if we made the right cuts. We've got a whole pile of things to swap in if we find that the ratios are off or whatever. Let's do a quick playtest or 2, and then let's see if we like it.
That's good.
3 drops.
And yeah, a lot of ramp. It was just all ramp.
This one has a 2-drop. This one has Savage Order. I like this hand.
3 lands technically with
Yeah, it's got 4 lands.
4 lands. Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay. Turn 1, we just play probably tapped Shatter Skull Smashing.
Yeah.
Turn 2, we can fetch out a Plains. Play this dork. Turn 3, we've got a
Good 3-drop.
Forest. Yeah. Doesn't hurt. Realmwalker will name dinosaurs. Play with top revealed. Land. Not the green land specifically, but 4, we'll play probably this one.
Like Grimlock.
Play Grimlock. Now we have a 4/3 and a 5/3. On turn 5, we can Savage Order for Golta, sacking Bistork. And Golta will hit someone for 9-ish, which seems pretty okay.
And we'll know what the top card of our library is.
After
So,
that, yeah. then we can fetch if we don't like it.
No, because we need the green from.
Oh, we do. Yeah.
I thought about that too. I was gonna say the same thing, but
Well, we could play this instead, but I kind of want to keep that.
yeah, I would because we can't fetch before they call the trigger, so it's kind of
you
pointless.
know.
Yeah, turn 5.
I mean, if you've got a Savage Order in your hand, it's always going to be a turn 5. Guess yeah.
Possibly a turn 4.
Yeah.
Hey Matt, any chance you building a Marisol deck?
I have built Marisol in the past. It is pretty cool. I haven't built it in a long time. So it could definitely use some updating. I do like the I'm going to pop Nevinyrral's Disc every turn and then phase it out plan or exile it or whatever. Yeah, it was cool. Marisol is a card that does not draw additional cards, which is a problem. And if you are blinking him a lot to get more cards under him, you're going to run out of cards pretty quickly, and he doesn't get haste when he comes back. But it is a cool deck. I do like it. It's back. Okay, let's try again. This one has Natural Order and Savage Order and a 2-drop.
And a 3-drop.
Yeah, okay.
And a fetch land to like.
I'm just going to assume that this is probably good enough because it's got both of these.
So they counter one where
Well, this one,
they're both an additional cost.
oh. I thought this one couldn't be countered for some reason, but it can. Definitely can. Okay. Yeah, we can even crew this with this to sack to either of these.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Let's try a hand that doesn't have those in it because we're trying to be fair Magic gamers. This hand doesn't do anything. It doesn't have
Literally
no
nothing.
plans.
Yeah.
This hand's pretty bad. Unlicensed Hearse is a 2-drop, technically. I guess it'll be pretty big pretty quick. That's probably fine. Let's see what happens. Cards to put in the graveyard. We'll probably play that. No.
Tapped, but yeah, it's chocolate.
Tap Shock first. This? Oh, it's Exotic Orchard. It's just weird. Okay. Fetch up Plains. Play this.
Make
Eat
it a
something
2/2.
from at least one card, possibly 2, if other people have cards in their graveyard. Turn 3, we don't do anything apart from Grow the Hearse, which is a failing, I would say. Turn 4, we can play Grimlock. Crew the Hearse, swing for 2 plus however many cards we've exiled, unless we really need to keep someone's graveyard deck under control. Don't swing with it. 5th land drop on turn 5 is pretty neat. Here's a thing. Now it can crew the Hearse, and Grimlock can swing if it's free. Turn 6, we'll discover 5. We've done it. It's 2 for the price of 1. Yeah. And then
More
we can
card
reveal.
advantage, and you have interaction.
We can
3
make our
pieces.
stuff
4 pieces.
not die.
Yeah.
And we can make it so that they can't block this turn. Yeah.
It was an
fine.
okay hand, yeah.
For a deck that is just trying to attack, it's doing okay. 2-drop into 3-drop into other 3-drop plus removal seems okay. I'll play this tapped on turn 1. Fetch a Stomping Ground. Play the Hearse, start slurping up stuff. The turn after that kind of depends on what the board looks like. Because Cultivator's Caravan does bring us up to 5, but we don't really need 5 mana right now. Probably just play this.
Yeah. Especially since we can just play lands to get to
Yeah.
5.
And it activates the hidden Source of Plowshares interaction. It's a combo. So they can't gain life, you see.
I'll be honest, with the amount of lands that we have in our deck, I don't know. I mean, I know they're vehicles too, but I don't know if the ramp is even like.
That's not necessary at all.
Yeah, I don't know if it's even like
Good.
good.
Because we have some like 6 and 7 drops in our deck, I think it's
I guess it does help.
fine. But you could probably drop them for some of the other 3
Because
drop.
like turn 5, you can play it, and then you can still tap it that turn because it's not a creature.
Yeah.
To play another 3 drop, so I guess it's fine.
Yeah, you can drop it for other 3 drop things if you want to.
Good.
At this point, well, we don't know how big hers is,
Say
but
4.
sure. So it'd be a 6. So this draws 6 cards. That's pretty good. I like
Yeah.
drawing 6 cards. Let's do one more and then wrap it up. Gishat's in our hand, which is why we have the ramp, I guess.
Oh shoot.
We got some 2s and 3s. We don't have any green mana, but we can fetch it. And we don't have any red mana. It's probably fine. Okay. Maybe we should have the Triome in the deck. Yeah, we should probably have the Triome in the deck so we don't have any 1-drops anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for now, I'm gonna go find Lush Portico.
I'm just losing track of time 17 times today.
That's fine.
Yep.
It's another green land. That's probably good enough. Turn, we can't cast our 2-drop because we didn't draw the colors, but we have a different 2-drop. There's red mana.
We could have though.
Here we go.
We could have put that second one in the graveyard. That surveil.
Yeah, but we guaranteeing a second green mana for this
Yeah.
is pretty good. Okay, now we can go find Stompo Ground. Play this. Start slurping, and then probably this land. Play Grimlock. Grimlock's a 7/7. And then depending on which one of these is bigger and how many things are going to the graveyard, crew one of these and swing with it, I guess. Five. Oh, I guess probably would have played a land.
You should have a 7 draw.
8.
8. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a minute.
Yeah.
This is a 4/4 though.
Or no, it entered after that, so it gets 3
Oh,
counters.
it's a 6/4. No, it's only if it's smaller than 4 mana value.
Yeah.
Mana value. This is a 2-drop.
Smaller than 4. You said, right?
Yeah, then it gets 1 counter.
Oh,
Bigger, it gets more.
that's right. That's right.
That's why
It's
this is a
it's the
7.
opposite of what you think it would be.
Yeah, they're paying you off for playing big things.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would be ridiculous.
So it's
Probably.
really a 6/4.
Yeah, it's really a 6/4. It crews this, these swing, he hangs out. Turn 6, we can eat our 6/4, draw a bunch of cards, probably, or the hearse if it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
You can crew it in response to the trigger and then sacrifice it. Draw 5 cards or whatever. Yep, those are cards. Okay. And next turn we can play a haste, and then we can play this too.
And then literally gish out the
Actually, we do it in the other order because then this gets bigger.
Yep.
It has haste, and then the turn after that we got Gishat.
while keeping up a flawless.
A flawless man. Das Übermensch.
Okay.
Okay. That is probably where we're going to leave it. I will make it public on the channel. You okay?
Yes.
Okay. You could wait a minute.
No.
Okay.
Efficiency.
Sure. Anyway, that's gonna be about it. I don't know. It's a deck it does things. It makes dinosaurs and sometimes vehicles, and it turns them sideways. And hopefully it finds Gishath at some point, or if it doesn't, it just makes more dinosaurs and vehicles and draws cards to draw more dinosaurs and vehicles. I don't think this deck, well, I have not played any Bracket 2 since they have made brackets, but I can't imagine this deck being stronger than your average Bracket 2 deck. Because you're just trying to play, well, anyway, I said all that already.
On occasion, you will turn 4, turn 5.
I guess, yeah.
Gishath.
Sure, yeah, but like,
Then they board wipe and you're still just back to the Stone Age.
sure. I mean, a Bracket 2 deck can turn 1 Soul Ring, turn 2 Explosive Vegetation, etc., 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 and they can get Gishath into play pretty easily too.
Yeah.
If it's in the command zone, even. But we're not doing that. But anyway, this is the deck. We are going to leave it here. It will be available on our Moxfield page, the Dinkus Dungeon Moxfield page. There's also a link to it in the description of this video if you want to look at it. Next week, we are, I don't know. Did you guys decide what you're doing? I'm not going to be here. It's going to be Brent and Corbin.
No, we have not decided.
It should be interesting. We'll see.
We're both last minute people, so we will see.
Yeah, one of them is going to make something cool, and then Corbin is going to make it into Storm.
I kind of like.
Even if Corbin comes up with a different idea, he's going to make it into Storm.
I kind of just want to like suggest Land Destruction Storm, but like, see how many times we can get demolished on the stack.
Yeah, I guess. Like, you could do that.
So
I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, if you like this, like, comment, subscribe on the video. If you have suggestions on what to do, maybe these people will listen to you. Maybe not.
come over to our Patreon and Discord. We're more likely to listen over there.
I don't know how true that is, but we'll at least engage. Yeah, join the Patreon if you like our stuff and you have money lying around. If not, yeah, that's fine, probably. Continue to watch it. None of us makes our living off of this.
We do this for the thrill of the game.
Yeah, for the love of the game. Or something. Okay. I
got nothing.
Okay, that's it. Bye.